Good afternoon once again, Nompu. Yes, we are still here on the floor of the exhibition, but I've invited a representative from the Zambian state mining investment holdings company to come and talk to us about what pictures they're seeing in Zambia. Remember, this is the investing in African mining in the Indaba. So we want to get to understand what is happening in other countries with regards to mining. You know that Zambia is one of the top 3 copper producers in the world, and we heard yesterday, in fact, the Minerals Council say that in South Africa we are going to be knocking on the Zambian door to see if we can buy excess power from them. But let's get to understand a little bit better through Ms. Dolika Banda, who's the board chairperson of the ZCCM Investment Holdings, about the picture in Zambia. Ms. Banda, thank you so much for joining us on the SABC News channel. I've been telling my colleague and my viewers there about how Zambia is the top 3 copper producer in the world. What is the landscape or the mining landscape looking like in Zambia, given the kind of energy challenges that we are seeing in Southern Africa?
Thank you so much. It's great to be here on SABC. So Zambia right now, when you look at the copper mining landscape, it is really on the verge of taking off. We have come through a very difficult period for over a decade where we had no investments into the copper industry. Fortunately, that coincided with a time when copper prices were rather low, fortunately or unfortunately. But now we are actually on the precipice of a real trajectory. The reason I say that is because, 1, the commodity prices are on our side. 2, there's a new cycle in technology-enabled lives, basically, the tech life, which requires manganese, cobalt, copper, lithium. Anything that goes into a cell phone, anything that goes into your car's GPS, anything that goes into Siri is sitting in Zambia. And so we're very excited because we're attracting different types of investors, not only in the metals, in minerals. We have Kaja, which is the biggest emerald producer globally. We've just found ruby. So if you like mining, you better be in our country.
I'm sure that there's a lot of investors that have knocked on your door, and then certainly here who've requested to see you. I'm quite keen to understand the power situation in Zambia. The Minerals Council of South Africa tells us that they'll be heading to Mozambique as well as Zambia to come and knock on your doors for excess power. Have you had those conversations? I understand that it may be a government-to-government conversations, but what do you know about how South Africa and Zambia can help each other on the power front?
So it is work in progress. Unfortunately, in the last year, we seem to be in the same position. Zambia has its ZESCO, South Africa has its ESCO. We're both going through very similar periods with blackouts every so often. However, we are extremely focused on looking for alternative sources of energy. In the mining sector, for example, and within the ZCCM portfolio, we have a company called CEC, Copper Belt Energy Company, that works on solar. They are just commissioning their next solar plant next month. In addition, our investment with First Quantum, where they will be investing in nickel, that mine will be run purely on solar. It's part of their strategy. In addition, Zambia is focused on hydro. We have a lot of water, a lot of waterways that needs to be managed. So we're looking at all the different alternatives: wind, hydro, solar. In addition to dismantling the electricity company to make it more efficient.
You did mention earlier that we are in a similar position. We are seeing that how it's impacting on our GDP. Are you seeing the same problems as well in Zambia?
The thing with Zambia is that this is a problem we have had for the last few years. But because of the efforts that are being made so far, it has been somewhat contained. We've had a bad spell in the last year, but this is a presidential focus, and we're making sure that it will have impacted GDP this year. But going forward, this is will be a problem of the past.
Ms. Banda, thank you so much for speaking to us here at the SABC. Nompu, Ms. Dolika Banda is with ZCCM-HM. They are an investment arm, and she says that similar problems as we have in South Africa that they have in Zambia, but things seem to be getting a little bit better. And talking about those minerals of the future that everyone here at the Mining Indaba keeps talking about, that go components that go into the battery of a cell phone, most of them coming from copper. And of course, she says the future looks bright for Zambia because of everything that they have there in the mineral side. And with that, let me hand over back to you, studio. I'll see you in the next hour. We'll speak to our next guest about the mining Indaba that's happening in Cape Town.
Thank you there, Liabo Setho.